Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the Dreadhead Monster, and I'm back with your weekend report. A little bit later than usual. I wanted to let the NFL get the rolling, but let's get into it. I noticed you noticed some new things on the table. Shout out to Rocky, shout out to Isaiah, and welcome to the table, my boy Vader. Um, you can see my shoebox. Shout out to Create the Brand. I was at the 312 Music Awards this weekend. Um, well, the game. Very interesting game. Shout out to Create the Brand. They pulled out the win. I had a joke for Bent this weekend. I told her I was going to send her to play next year. So playing to see 100 Sports Coalition of Culture. You got Bent representing that shit. So shout out to everybody involved. Uh, let's start with some boxing. Uh, After an impressive fight against Tyson Fury, Francis went down in the second round to Anthony Joshua, which leads me to pose the question: should MMA fighters fight professional boxers? I know some of them do have a boxing background or training or it's a part of their skill set, which I should say, but it don't really look like in the last couple years that they've had a good record. So I mean, this kind of puts him at I don't know how many professional fights he had before then, but this kind of puts him at 1-1. So um, how does he bounce back from this? Francis, we're talking about. I'm not quite sure. Pretty well. One thing I will say, he comes with a name, so he will be able to get some premium fights, as we should say. But yeah, we should see what his future say. And we all know what Anthony Joshua Road is. It's kind of been like crossing paths and then not crossing paths. So with this win and the way Francis was able to take Tyson Fury, I would be sure that he would be next to fight Tyson Fury after his next bout. So shout out to both of those guys. I know they both trained hard. I know they didn't think that it would end in the second round. So um, Haney versus Garcia, 420. Uh, Ryan Garcia kind of on some, might as well say some weird shit. A lot of tweets came out this week. He kind of been on a roll on Twitter. It wasn't as nothing as bad as what was the other day, but even Tom Damon Haley put up a T-shirt of him and Puff in a pool, released a sparring video, him and Tank, which got a lot of attention. His dad even stopped by Is What It Is to talk with Cam and Mace about, it being more footage and them actually winning money from that sparring session. So um, those last couple tweets was kind of disturbing from Garcia, which I ain't gonna even talk about. But if you was able to see them, I mean, or you want to go check them out, I think they still up. But surprising news, I think, came out Friday. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, July 20th, live on Netflix. Uh, Netflix, I know this is big, for Netflix going into live sports. They got the contract to Monday Night Raw for $5 billion. So I'm not sure what they paid for this fight, but it is a pretty interesting bout. So uh, don't know what they paying Mike Tyson, but they should be paying Jake Paul a pretty penny because he could go in there and get hurt. They haven't put out a lot of what the stipulations is, but I did hear Jake Paul would be wearing headgear, which would be pretty safe. So uh, I will be tuning in like the rest of the world, and hopefully Mike Tyson doesn't kill the man. So keep it rolling. NFL. This is why I held back until let some of the signings go down. And it started rolling between Saturday and Sunday night. They have this thing called legal tampering, which I guess would be all the signings today. So started out with Russell Wilson being released by the Broncos, but he was quickly signed by the Steelers. I believe it's like for 1.2. The Broncos are going to eat the other 38 million on this contract. So I mean, it's a good deal for the Steelers, who the last 2 years haven't had the best quarterback play, or trying to find that quarterback to help them just get over the hump. So it was kind of a foregone conclusion for Russell Wilson and the Broncos. He was benched the last couple games. They didn't want to pay. I think it was like a couple million if he would have passed the physical or something. So they got him on up out of there. So shout out, to Russell Wilson for being able to find a team so quick. Uh, the question was how does this change the QB situation in the NFL, because there was still some moves to be made, but just going back and forth. Atlanta signed Kirk Cousins. He's a Falcon. So that tampering window really, got it started. So you got Saquon Barkley, an Eagle, Chris Jones returns 5-year, $95 million to the Chiefs. Kevin Barnyard signed with the Bears. We also signed DeAndre Swift. Packers signed Josh Jacobs, cut Aaron Jones. Mike Evans signed last week. Baker Mayfield gets 3-year, $100 million. That was a lot. Tried to get that out quick. Some more moves to be made by Wednesday, so hopefully you caught all of that. Like I said about that quarterback situation, that leaves a pool kind of dry for what the Bears are able to do with Justin Fields. So it's only so many starting spots to go around. So uh, with that being said, we might even end up keeping him, be a backup to here or somewhere else. So still not sure what they're gonna do with that number one pick, but uh, yeah, interesting day in football. Plus, we got more to come. So NBA, first thing I read out just makes me sigh. Ben Simmons out for the season. Played 15 games, 6.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, 5.7 assists. Still got 1 year left on his contract. I don't know anymore. At first, I thought that, once he got out of Philly, he'd be decent and ready to play. But at this point, I don't, pretty much know what to say about what's going on in that situation, or what the Nets should do, or what his next move should be. So I don't know what they're gonna do to figure that out. And I'm tired of sticking up for the man. So yeah. Carl Anthony Towns out at least a month. The Wolves were rolling with that combination of him and Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, but yeah, Cat gonna be out at least a month. I think it's gonna be a hard road, for the Wolves. Don't think they're gonna drop out the playoffs or nothing like that, but with 5 weeks to go, that is gonna be a struggle for their team to get wins every night. Nas Reed has stepped up in a few games since Cat's been down, so we shall see how that goes. At the top of the Eastern Conference, we got the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Cavs. Can't forget the Nets. Those your top four there. Western Conference, we got OKC, Denver, Wolves, and Clippers. See the Wolves still hanging on. MVP race. I think it's time to start talking about this. got, like I said, we got 5 weeks left. Probably about less than 20 games. So the Kia MVP race keeps you up to date with who's in the top five, basically top 10, but we'll just go with the top five. Five, you got Luca. Four, you got Jason Tatum. Three, you got Giannis. Two, you got Shy. Number one, you got the Joker. If I had a vote right now, with the way that OKC is playing, I would give my vote to Shy. Playing some hell of a basketball, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. That's not to take anything from anybody else, but that's just the way he's been leading that team all year. I think it's like they shared it like 30 games with 30 and 10 or something like that. It was wild, crazy stat. But closing out, we're going to give you the NBA power rankings. Number five, you got the Clippers. Last week they were sixth. Bucks was fifth. They moved to four. Last week the Thunder was in the fourth spot. They moved to third. Timberwolves was third, but they've dropped out the power rankings, top five without losing a few games since Cat been gone, like I said earlier. And number two, you got the Celtics finally falling out the number one spot. And number one, the Denver Nuggets, which I guess that game against the Celtics played a big part. They've gone 2-0 against the Celtics this year. I think they won that game by like 10. So, yeah, they're in the number one spot. So, as always, we appreciate you guys for listening. Shout out to the 312 Music Awards. Shout out to Create the Brand. My boy Rocky, Vader, Isaiah. We'll see you guys next week. And always, thank you for watching.